Guys, it's happening. It's really happening. You know how you get an amazing idea and you want to start working on it, but you never do? Or when you start working on it, you actually lose interest in like a week? Well, that was my relationship with pet projects for as long as I can remember. Now something has changed. I actually managed to start my pet project, work on it for some amount of time, get to some results, share it with other people, and still continue working on it. I have so many ideas, so many plans, and it's actually happening this time. So what changed? I used to look at these people on Instagram who are just waking up, ready to go, and they're so motivated by their projects that they just cannot wait till they start working on it. It looked like they had a reason to wake up in the morning, and now I start understanding them. I mean, don't get me wrong, as soon as I wake up in the morning, the only thing I want is to go back to sleep. But as soon as I become more human-like and have my cup of tea, then I really want to continue working on my project. And it's also not because I have more energy, because I'm also sick way more than I've ever been in my life. Welcome to the life with small kids. But something has changed. I think it's due to several factors, and let's start with the elephant in the room, AI. If you have seen a few videos on my channel, you know that I'm not a proponent of vibe coding at all, but I am a big advocate of AI-assisted coding, or basically let AI do the hard and tedious parts approach. And let's be real, if you are a software engineer, you've just spent 8 hours at work, hopefully 8, doing work that it's very taxing for our brain. How are you supposed to come home and start doing the same thing for more hours? It's just not, it doesn't make sense. If that's not the fastest way to burn out, I don't know what is. But if you use AI in a smart way and add a second ingredient to the recipe, you can make quite some progress with your pet project. And the second ingredient is you have to start really small. I mean, we all know what MVP is, obviously. Do we really apply this principle? Look me in the eye or in the screen and tell me that you are following the MVP approach for all of your projects? Highly doubt it. At least I didn't. For my pet projects, I went with the simplest thing possible. And before I move on to explaining what my project is and how exactly my MVP looked like, let me share the third ingredient before I get you completely confused. I have no idea how many fingers I just showed, but it was supposed to be number 3. And the third ingredient is social accountability, of course. And I mean, you don't have to have a YouTube channel, although I have to say that helps so much. But you can share your idea with friends. And then if you have annoying friends, as I do, they will bother you constantly with updates on your app, and then you wouldn't want to disappoint them. And I think it's enough of blah blah here. Let's dive into the real examples. So what I did is I wanted to build an app that would allow you to create invitations to different events. And I don't mean big events, I mean small events, like I'm going to the cinema and does anybody want to join? Or even I have a free evening. Does anybody have ideas? You want to go for drinks? Or maybe I want to play board games, but I need to find 3 more friends to do that. And usually I would go to the group chats and send a lot of messages to people. And I mean, it can get very ridiculous if you're just looking for somebody to have drinks with, right? You just get a lot of people declining it because they're busy, they already have stuff to do, and you get a lot of rejections, and you stop before you reach a person who is also pretty lonely on this evening and wants to go for drinks. And this is where Shorty comes in. And Shorty was supposed to be an app where you invite your friends, then you create an event, and they all get notifications. This does not sound like a very scary thing to do, so you might think that I'm just gonna go ahead and build it. No, that would be a mistake. You know, from the height of my expertise of months and a half of building an app. Anyway, I have a video on my channel explaining how I did it, but in short, I went to Claude, I asked what's the fastest way to build a mobile app. It gave me something, then I went to Claude with the specification, and I just asked to build this simplest app possible, and it was on my phone in 30 minutes. And that was my MVP, no value product. I think that should be an extra step before the MVP. It gave me so much momentum because I already built something. I physically see it on my phone. Let me grab the phone. I don't have the previous version of the app anymore, but to recreate the feeling, I took my phone, I looked at the app on my phone, and it was there. It's not just a pet project that lives in my head, it's a pet project that lives on my phone. It's something that I've already created and I can use. And the momentum that it gave me, I transformed into building it further. And after I built a real MVP, the event that I can create, I realized that I'm forcing people to install an app, and that's not what I want, because I find it annoying when other people do that. So why would I do it with my own product? I decided that I want to focus on the web version as well. So people who don't have an app can still interact with the app. We call everything an app nowadays. But you know, they can also say yes or no to the event. And I didn't really want to do it with React Native because then you would have to support 2 code bases and it's a pet project. I want to support as little as possible. So the first thing I did after having MVP, I decided to change the stack completely. And oh boy, was I happy that AI existed at that moment, because all it took was one prompt and it worked. Kind of. The current app is built with React Native and Expo. Like, why is it in the plan? It's such a waste of tokens. Keep existing days utilities that do not work. But okay, whatever. Day 1, 2. Oh my god, Claude giving estimations is like, why? You're gonna spend 10 minutes building it. Why is it at day 1? I don't know why I'm reading this. I'm just gonna say, yes, go ahead. I still had to fix quite some artifacts from this migration, but I went from one tech stack that I didn't know to another tech stack that I barely knew, and I learned a lot in the process. And I didn't abandon my pet project, which was the most important part in all this. And if you think you know what happened next, you're mistaken, because I didn't know what would happen next, because that was not an expected thing, because I was so hyped about having the app and having the actual working thing that I thought, I'm gonna put it on App Store and Play Store. Playmark, how's it called? Google Play. Google Store. I'm having a brain freeze right now. And then I thought, wait a second, I don't have a logo. And you might be like, but hey, you just showed us an app and it had a logo. And that is correct, because I made one. I'm not an artist. I have some decent drawing skills for an average person. Like, I can draw a banana and you will recognize it. But I absolutely do not have money to hire a proper logo designer, and to be fair, it would not be a very smart choice at this stage of development. But I also don't want to use AI generated slab, because first of all, it's not good. And second, because I really try to keep everything that I make human-made. Can I call it artisanal? Because I feel like as soon as you use anything AI generated without disclosing it, whether it is a thumbnail or a script or a logo, you kind of lose this trust that what you make is genuine and you actually put effort into your work. So I'm really trying not to do that. But as I mentioned, I'm not an artist, so what would I do? Instead of having a proper logo, I decided to have a fun one. I thought it would be funny to have like a bird that brings the invitation, you know, like a pigeon who brings you post, but it has to be a slightly unhinged pigeon, because no reason. But as you can guess, there are not a lot of unhinged pigeons in the nature. So I asked AI to create a few references for me. Hated all of them. I looked at the photos of real pigeons. They were too normal. And eventually I kind of came up with something in between, and I actually drew it myself. Okay, I traced some parts of it, but I drew the rest, so it counts. I don't think it's a great logo because it's way too detailed. And while I'm not building a professionally looking app, I'm not sure that this logo makes the cut as being at least somewhat professional, but it's fun. And this is what I need for the moment. I think as soon as the app is monetized and making some money, I'm just gonna pay a real designer to do real work. But also, you know what? It was so much fun to just draw your own logo. It's so different from doing any kind of programming work. So I enjoyed every second of it. I think if I could draw, I would become an artist. But also it's very difficult and very tedious and it takes a lot of time, so probably not. But a girl can dream. And when the logo was done, I felt like the app is so ready to be used. And then I remembered about that little thing that the app has to do. It has to, you know, invite users to the events that I forgot to implement. I think I want like a plus button here and then kind of a model or a new window where I can just select people from a drop down. But I want everybody to invite people to the event, I think. And I don't want to think about it right now, so I'm just going to file it as an issue and get back to it later. Ideally, in the future, we're going to have a setting for a user where the user can decide if anybody can invite them to the event. Well, you know how it works. You've seen Instagram and Facebook and whatever. But for now, we don't have that, so POC style. Well, like, I forgot is not the right word. It's more of a, there are so many little things to build when you're building your own product, and you never know this until you've actually experienced building your own product, which I guess hardly urge you to do, because it gave me so much insights into everything. And now even when I do my job at work at a big company where my role is completely different from building what I'm building, it feels different, because now I understand the problem of product decisions and prioritization, because everything is important and you really have to choose the most important, the most essential functions. And I guess I'm still learning to do that. Okay guys, look at this. So I asked Claude to create a different user profile so we can see upcoming and past events. And I didn't like how it did it because you cannot really see what's going on, like created and upcoming are the same. So I asked it to give me some suggestions of how it might look, because I'm not a UI engineer, so I don't really know how it works. And look what it did. It had this approach that you need to prefer, and it actually managed to show it in the terminal. It's so nicely done and it's so clear. Maybe I should just switch the UI to be completely in the terminal. So I think I'm gonna go for the tabs and we'll see how it looks. Okay, let's see how the profile looks like. Okay, I think I like it better. Let me log into Alice. Alice has more events now. Yeah, that looks decent. I don't like the gray color on the filter, and that's the same stuff that Claude did with the filters on the front page. It just made them all gray in the beginning, so I had to recolor them. So I think I'm gonna do the same for the profile. I think it would be like really fun to add the internalization there. I think we should at some point. It's gonna be primary. Yeah, I like it way more. I'm also very surprised how much feedback you get from real users using your app, because as a developer, you see it every day and then you share it with somebody else and they find all of the little things that you don't even notice. Another thing that I was building is the events feed, which was kind of important because I built the creation of the apps, I built inviting users into the apps, and then I realized that there is no way to discover the events unless one is shared with you. So there should be a feed where you see which events your friends are creating. And there's probably going to be a search, but I did not work on the search yet. Right now you have these events that you created yourself. You can go to your friend, but you cannot like really see a list of events that your friends are attending, which is kind of the key feature of the app. The idea is that my friends can discover my events automatically, and now they have to actually search for them. So I'm going to fix it right now. It feels like every feature just brings 10 more. And if you are interested in how this project is going to develop in the future, or to which weird places this project is going to bring me while it's being developed, follow along, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to make these updates videos about the app, but I have to tell you, making a video about the update is more difficult than building an app, because you don't really know what's going to be interesting and what you're going to share. And also I'm trying to share the process, but the process is happening all over the place because it's a pet project. I do it when I have the time, whether it is at a kitchen table, on the sofa, somewhere completely unexpected, and I cannot really film at the moment. If I knew I'm going to be doing the full work session with recording and stuff, I would have grabbed some of the nice equipment, or at least the audio. Maybe not the background of meals, but this is how it happens with pet projects when you have a full-time job and other hobbies and responsibilities. Yeah, if you have the tips about how to share the progress of your app for some weird reason, I'll really appreciate it. And otherwise, this is the epitome of learning in public. So if you want to see how long am I going to stick with this pet project and what is going to come out of it, subscribe to the channel and I'll be posting updates regularly. And let me know what you think about my app. Fingers crossed, the app is going to be available on App Store at some moment. And if you want to know how this app even came to be in the first place, what became the final trigger in creating it, you can watch this video. I'll see you there or in my next video.